So in this video, we are going to go ahead with the installation of Anaconda and VS Code, which will be our IDE, right? If you see just an example of VS Code, this is how my VS Code looks like, a good, amazing, complete IDE to probably execute your code. You can execute your code both in IPYNB format, you can execute your code in .py format and all. So this is entirely my VS Code IDE, right? So first of all, before we go ahead and install about VS Code, first of all, we need to go ahead and install about Anaconda. Anaconda is one amazing open source tool. It provides a complete open source ecosystem for sourcing, building and deploying data science and AI initiative. Okay. So if you really want to work with multiple environments, multiple packages, so this will be the best thing that you will probably have in order to get started with Python programming language, right? And it is necessary that everybody uses this, because here the management of packages, the management of environments will happen very much easily. Now, the importance of packages and management is very important because you may want to work with different versions of Python. So for that, you really need to create a different environments. Okay. So let's get started and start with the installation of Anaconda. So first of all, we will go ahead and click on free download. So here you can see that once I click on free download, I can if you go down, okay, so here you'll be able to see what all things it basically supports, right? Now you can provide your email address. Let's say I'm going to provide my email address over here. I click on submit. Here you'll be able to see that I'm able to get the download now button over here, link, right? So I have Windows, I have Mac, I have Linux. Okay. Now, based on your operating system, it will automatically give whether you need to install 64-bit graphic installer or whether you need to probably go ahead with Mac, Linux, right? Right now, I am having Windows. So I'll just go ahead and click on this particular link. So once I click on this link, here you can see that this entire link is basically getting downloaded. Once it gets downloaded, we'll start the installation. Okay. So I hope everybody remembers this specific step. So first of all, we need to go ahead and go to anaconda.com, click on free downloads, provide your email ID, and just go ahead and go to this download now option. And whichever is the operating system, just go ahead and click on download now. Okay. So once this is done, the next step that you can specifically do over here is that you can see that my Anaconda exe file is ready. I will double click on this and I will start my installation. So here you can see I have already started my installation. Okay. Setup will guide you through the installation of Anaconda 3, so and so version, everything. Then we will go ahead and click on next. Okay. It will ask you for this license agreement. So you just need to go ahead and click on I agree. Now if your system is basically used by multiple users, you can click on all users or you can just click on just me, right? Since I'm using this particular workstation or laptop or anything, I'll just click on just me. So I will go ahead and click on next. Now, once I go ahead and click on next, it will ask me to select a destination folder. Now, by default, this destination folder is basically created in my C drive of Anaconda 3, right? Since Anaconda is already installed in my machine, so here you are able to see this Anaconda 3 folder. But let's say that you want to go ahead of the installation in some other folder. By default over here, it will take the C drive, right? If you want to go ahead with the other folder also, you can go ahead and select it. Let's say that I want to probably go ahead with my desktop folder. Here I will create my another folder, or let's say if I go to my E drive, okay? E drive, here I have one Anaconda folder. Okay. So please make sure that you write this Anaconda 3 because it needs to be matching with this, right? In my C drive, by default, it is basically creating this Anaconda 3 folder. Okay. But I want it to have it in E drive. Let's say I'm just showing you multiple options. You can also go ahead with C drive also. It is up to you. So let's say I go ahead and select this. I will write OK. And then I will go ahead and click on next. So here you can see that it will give you multiple options. Create start menu shortcuts, add Anaconda 3 to my path environment variable, not recommended, clear the package cache upon completion. So what I will do, I will also make sure that I will check this box. Okay. It is saying not recommended, but I will tell you what is the importance of this. Because once we go to our environment variable, okay, if I just go ahead and see my environment variable, one very important thing in this particular path, right, is to have this Anaconda path, right? So this paths will be automatically added in the environment variable. And because of this particular path, if it is added in the environment variable, it will be very helpful when we execute any conda command, right? with the help of conda command, we'll be creating a new environment. We will be doing multiple things and all, right? So this will be very important, right? And this path is only added when you specifically just check this particular box, that is add Anaconda 3 to my path environment variable. This is important. Please do make sure that you check this, okay? And then what you can actually do, you can click on install. Once you click on install, this is going to take some amount of time with respect to the installation. Once the installation will happen, wherever you have selected the folder location, right, there the installation will happen automatically. And also make sure that whenever you see your environment variable, right, that environment variable should have this path inserted over here, right? So Anaconda 3 library, this bin folder, user bin folder, library bin folder, and scripts. This 4 path needed to be added, and it will get automatically added if you have done the checkbox. Okay. So this is very important, because without this, trust me, your command is going to fail when you write any conda command. Okay. Like you want to do probably pip install, you want to probably create an environment with using conda, that is not going to work. Okay. So once this installation is done, I hope you will be able to do it. Okay. Just please go ahead and do it. Once the installation is done, your Anaconda will be ready. Now, once you complete the installation, I will just go ahead and click on Anaconda, right? So once I write Anaconda, here you'll be able to see that I'll be getting this Anaconda Navigator. So I'll click on Anaconda Navigator over here. Once I click on Anaconda Navigator, here is what it will get displayed. So this will be initializing, and I will be able to see one amazing this entire Anaconda Navigator will be opened as a window app. Okay, so this is going to just take some time because once you probably do the installation, you go ahead and just open it. So here you can see I have opened this. Okay, so this is my Anaconda Navigator. So in this Anaconda Navigator, you have Jupyter Notebook. You can directly click on launch. Automatically the Jupyter Notebook will be opened. You have other things like PyCharm, you have data lore, you have Watson Studio, you have PyCharm Professional. All these are different IDs, right? And one of the main thing is that I've already installed this Anaconda. You will be able to see that so many different environments I've created. See, V and V in different folder location. I will show you how to create an environment and all as we go ahead. Okay. Now, after going ahead with this Anaconda Navigator, the next thing that you need to install is your VS Code. So in order to install the VS Code, I will click on VS Code download. Okay. Then here my VS Code link will be over here. Just click on VS Code download. And this VS Code is also available for everyone. It is a complete open source. So based on your operating system, whether it is Windows, OS or Mac, you just go ahead and install this. So I'll click this, and the installation and the downloading will basically start. Once the downloading is started, just double click this, do next, and all the installation will be done. Okay. Now, how to start a VS Code after the installation is done. Okay. So right now I have the exe file. I have already done the installation. I will go to my folder. Let's say that I want to start my Python programming language from this particular folder. So I've created a data analyst bootcamp folder. Inside that I've created a Python folder. Okay. So from this particular folder, what I will do, I will go ahead and write my command prompt. Okay. So I will open my command prompt. Inside this command prompt, and remember, you have to start this process after you install this, but still this is getting downloaded. Once it gets downloaded, just double click this, click on next, and all the installation will basically happen. Okay. Now I will go ahead and open my command prompt. I will go to this specific folder location, right? So I will say CDE, this particular drive, right? So what did I do over here? I wrote CD, and this path that I've actually taken, I have just pasting it over here. Okay. Like this, I'm pasting it over here. So here it is, and I will go to my E drive. So here you can see once I go to my E drive, automatically I'm going in that specific path. Not only this, if you want to go ahead and start from here also, you can go ahead and do it, So here, if I do right click, here you can see I'm getting open with code, right? If you're installing it for the first time, probably you may not get it, right? So here you can see my VS Code is basically, exe file is installed. So if I double click this, here you can see setup has detected that Visual Studio Code is currently running. Please close all the instances, then click OK to continue. So already my installation is done, so I'm not going to do that. But for you, it will just keep on coming next, and you can start. Now, once I go to my command prompt, in this particular folder location. Okay, I will just go ahead and write code dot. Once I write code dot, please make sure that you note this particular command. Once I write code dot, automatically my VS Code will get opened in that specific folder location. So here you can probably see Python, right? So once you have this particular Python, you can go ahead and start your coding, right? You can probably create a file, let's say test.ipynb file, and you can start your coding. Okay, but this more about coding we will see in the next video. But I hope I've shown you how you can open the VS Code, how you can do the installation of the VS Code and all, right? So two things I've actually focused on this particular video. One was downloading your Anaconda. One was setting up your path environment. Make sure to do that checkbox. Okay. And the second thing that you really need to download is your VS Code, that is Visual Studio Code. Double click it, install it. Then in any folder location, let's say in this Python folder location, what I've done through my command prompt, I've gone to this particular location and I've just written code space dot. Once I write code space dot, my VS Code will get opened. If you still face any kind of issues, please make sure that you write down in the discussion forum, right? So yes, this was it from my side. I will see you all in the next video. Thank you.